So relationship between subjects and objects. So the relationship between subjects or actors, some people say subjects, some people actors, and objects are shown through markers. So the preposition sa, and this is really confusing, can be used for the English prepositions to, from, into, on, for, or through. And so sometimes Filipinos don't know how to use prepositions. Is it at? Is it to? Because we only have noun and sa. Okay, this is now the summary of grammar points. So, the complex system of affixes or suffixes, word order, specific words and pronouns for formal and more formal language, the word na as linker, and for time, questions, and ba. So suffixes are used for verbs, adjectives, and nouns. So for example, you have the root word bili. So look at the suffix. So we say bumili, bumibili, bibili if the focus is on the doer of the action. So for the imperative form, we say bumili. For the recent perfective aspect, we say nakabili. So another way of looking at nakabili is to think of it as I was able to buy. Okay? So the prefix naka can also mean was able to. So for example, bumili ako ng kahapon is I bought coffee yesterday. Bumibili ako ng kape linggo-linggo is I buy coffee every week. And then bibili ako ng kape bukas, I will buy coffee tomorrow. Okay. So, now look at the word. Bumili ka ng kape is, imperative. You buy coffee. Okay? So, when we say, for example, nakabili ako ng kape. So, notice here that you're using the affix naka. So, nakabili ako ng kape has two meanings. It means either I've bought coffee or I was able to buy coffee. Okay. Now, what about when we want the focus to be on the object, right? So here the focus is on kape. And how do we know this? Again, this is indicated by the marker ang. So for example, and we put kape at the beginning of the sentence. So for example, I can say, kape ang binili ko kahapon. Coffee is what I bought yesterday. Kape ang binibili ko linggo-linggo. Coffee is what I buy every week. Now, if you want to do it in the contemplated aspect, you say, kape ang bibilhin ko bukas. So notice how the word bili, the root word bili changes. From binili, bought, binibili, buy, what I buy every week, bibilhin, will buy. Okay? So, to modify the subject kape, we use na. So, ang nabili kong kape ay masarap. Now, look at this. So, here, kape is your subject. So, the coffee I bought was delicious. Right? So, what is the subject here? The coffee that you had bought is what? Is, or was what? Was delicious. Ang nabibili kong kape. So, ang nabibili kong kape, this is your noun phrase. So, the coffee that I buy ay masarap is what? Is delicious. Ang mabibili kong kape, the coffee I will buy or the coffee I will be able to buy is delicious. Okay. To express means by which an action is brought about, what prefix do you use? You use i. So you can say, ibinili ko ng kape ang nanay ko. So look at that. So these are what we call causative sentences. So for example, you say, I bought coffee for my mother. So literally, bought, I, marker, coffee, marker, mother, my. Okay. So, ibinibili ko ng kape ang nanay ko linggo-linggo. What does it mean? You buy coffee for your mother every week. So, there's you, like doer of the action, and then there's your mother, who is what? The mother is to whom the action is directed. Okay? Or you can say, ibibili ko ng kape ang nanay ko bukas. What does it mean? So, will buy I coffee, marker, mother, my tomorrow. Now, What happens if you want to use affixes or verb affixes to show request? So here, you use the affixes pa and nagpa. So for example, you say, pabili ng kape. Notice the word pabili. The affix pa here means please. So you say, please let me buy coffee, right? Or please tell coffee to me, or it can even mean please buy me coffee. So for example, your friend is going somewhere and you're asking him or her to buy some coffee. You say, pabili ng kape, right? Or please buy me coffee. Or for example, you're at the store. You say exactly the same thing. You say, pabili ng kape, when actually you're telling the person selling coffee that you want to buy coffee, or please let me buy coffee. Now look at the affix nagpa. So you put nagpa with bili and it comes out nagpa plus bili, it becomes nagpabili. So what does it mean? Nagpabili ako ng kape sa kaibigan ko. So here, the focus is on you, because you are the one who asked your friend to buy coffee. So it becomes, nagpabili ako ng kape sa kaibigan ko. For example, now remember earlier, we were talking about the affix E. You can say, kape ang ipinabili ko sa kaibigan ko. Meaning what? So in that case, the focus is on kape. So what it's important for us to learn how to switch these things. Okay? So then you can also say, put the focus in your kaibigan. And you can say, kaibigan ko ang binilhan ko ng kape. So now that's in an affixes. But here, nagpa is to show request, which is what we are looking at in this slide. Okay. Now, to form an adjective, we use pam. So for example, you say, ang perang ito ay pambili ko ng kape. So look. So the money is for buying coffee. So you see the affix pam, you put pam with bili, you put it together, it becomes pambili. And now what is it? It becomes now an adjective that kind of describes what the money is for. What is the money for? The money is for buying coffee. Now, how do we form nouns? To form nouns, we use pam. Okay, so we're still with bili, right? Bili is your root word. So we've already learned how to form verbs, how to form adjectives, and now the question is, how do we form nouns? So with nouns, usually you use the affix pag. So look, pag plus bili. So together it forms pagbili. So ang pagbili ng kape ay nakagawian ko na tuwing Sabado. Look at the word nakagawian. Nakagawian simply means has been a habit, right? So ang pagbili ng kape ay nakagawian ko na tuwing Sabado simply means buying coffee every Saturday has been a habit of mine. Or literal meaning is the buying of coffee has been habit my na already every Saturday. Okay.